If you are a web designer and you design or build websites for clients, or a graphic designer and you're doing graphic design work for clients, then this video is for you. Hi, my name is Adam from WPCrafter.com, where I make WordPress videos for non-techies. And I want to share with you this tool that I just came across, and I'm actually kind of blown away by it. And it solves a huge problem if you are working with any type of clients for any kind of work that you deliver over the internet. So this would probably be web design, and it doesn't have to be a WordPress website, any kind of web design work or building a web app or anything at all related to that. And also if you're doing any kind of graphic design work where you're showing your client or your customer some of the work you're doing and you're getting feedback. I don't know about you, but when I was doing client work for people, there was one thing that would drive me nuts, and I thought it was the biggest problem with doing any kind of work for someone else, and that is all the time that gets consumed calling them up on the phone or doing a Skype chat or any kind of communication with your client, and all the time that takes. It's so exhaustive, getting their feedback, showing them something, and then listening to all of their thoughts and opinions on it, and then having to write notes and then do the work and then call them back to show them the changes. This is the biggest problem, and I think it's the biggest time eater whenever you're doing any kind of web-based work for anybody where you're building a website or building an app. It's this communications problem. So anyways, I just came across a product that I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to show you exactly how it works, and you can see if this might fit for you. Now, I will give you a little bit of context. I used to build websites for people, and I'm considering doing that again. But the biggest hurdle in my mind is this problem with the communication. And there's also issues with keeping communication organized. So this product solves all of that, and it's called Project Huddle. And here is the website right here. Now, I'll tell you the cost of this right up front. It's not a software as a service or anything like that. It's essentially a WordPress plugin, and I'm going to show you how it all works, so don't worry about it. It's a WordPress plugin. I think it's $89. It's only 89 bucks, and you only need to install it on one website anyways. There it is, $89. I think if you go to the website and you navigate off, he offers you a $10 off coupon too. I don't know how long that's going to last for, but the cost is really nothing for what it does. So for a minute, don't even think about the cost, and it's just $89 for this plugin, and I'm going to show you exactly what it does. It is so stinking cool. Now, actually, let me tell you, I found out about this plugin from Lee Jackson. He has the WP Innovator podcast, and it's a great podcast. I was actually on it once with him. I had a great time, but he's a really great guy. And he was talking about this because he owns an agency, and he has this challenge as well, which is the client communication. And I think this is just awesome to solve that. Let me just tell you what it is in a nutshell. You set up maybe on a subdomain. I did it on a subdomain, so I put it on projects.wpcrafter.com. I installed WordPress. I put this plugin in there, and then what you do is you would add your client's website. It could be any website, not WordPress. It could be anything. You just have to add a little script to it, and I'm going to show you how to do all this. So you basically create a user account for your client, and this will be a login for them. And then you create a project, a website or a design project. So for a website project, you put that in there, and it's going to give you a little snippet of code that you then go and put on that website. And then what you do is you add that client to this project, and it's going to automatically send them an email, and there's going to be a link in it. When they click on that link and then log in, it's going to take them back to their website, but then they're going to have these tools to mock up what you've done for them. And this is essentially what it looks like right here. They can click anywhere and leave a note, and then these all get organized in the back end, and you can either address them, communicate back, or you can assign them to maybe your own staff. I'm going to show you it all so it fully makes sense to you. So it works on mockups and websites, anything on the web, it's going to work on. And it's a self-hosted app, which I love, and everything is completely brandable. I'm almost surprised at how cheap this plugin is considering it solves this massive problem, and also makes you look like a rock star because you have this awesome organized system of communicating with your client. So let me just go ahead and show you. Now I'm going to do this multiple web browser thing because I don't want to be, I'm logged in this web browser as the client, and then on the other web browser I'm going to be logged in as the owner of the site. So okay, so let me go in here. So here is a WordPress installation. I put it on projects.wpcrafter.com. Don't go there because I'm probably going to take it down anyway right after this video. So what you want to do is you want to go here and just install the plugin, and the plugin is right here. It's just Project Huddle. And what it's going to do is add these 3 options to the back end of your WordPress website. First, let's look at the options panel, and it's right here under Project Huddle. And what you can do, you can customize everything. You can toss your logo in there. You can change the colors to match your branding. It's really going to make you look like a pro. And here is the same customizations for the mockups that you might want to do. And mockups are just graphics. So if you're creating any kind of graphics and you want to have that feedback communication, that's what this is going to be perfect for. Or if maybe you're doing custom coded websites and you're starting off of a Photoshop design, that's also an ideal use for the mockups. So if you still do websites that way, and you can totally customize out all of the colors and the text right here. And here is the same that you can do for the websites. Everything is fully customizable for your branding. Here is for the emails, and this is just to turn on. What's one of the best things about this is all the back and forth email notifications that come through on the system. Updates is just for tossing your license in. It says extensions here, but there aren't any currently available. I could think of 1 or 2 that I would like to see, but maybe I don't have the best perspective on this. So anyways, these are just your basic settings. So this is what you do, and this is what I did, is you go in here to websites. If you want to do a website, if it's mockups, it's different in the sense that there isn't a script. You're going to actually upload your graphic. So I'm going to go here to add a website, and what happens is I already added this website here. Let's just do it right here. So you can add a website. All you need is a project name or whatever you'd want to call it, and then the URL. So let me enter that in. Now, once you enter that in, you're going to see it generates a permalink. This is actually the link that gets sent off to your client. So when they click on this link, they're going to be prompted to log in, and then they're going to be taken back to their website or wherever you have that, or if it's a mock-up, they're going to be taken to the mock-up. So just be careful what you name this project right here, because it's going to be part of the slug, this link that gets sent out. Then toss your website address in, and then go ahead and click on next. And what it's going to do is it's going to give you this little snippet of code. Now, this little snippet of code, like I said, this can be added to any website. It doesn't have to be WordPress based. As long as you can add this little snippet of code, you're fine. Now, let me go back to the other browser and show you how to do that. So here I am on the site that I set up that I'm going to show you how this works. And you just go there and you want to install this plugin right here. Now, depending on the website, if your theme already has a place where you can paste that in, you can go ahead and put it there. And if you're a web developer, you already know where to do this. But if your theme does not have it, you can add this plugin called Insert Header and Footer, and it's a free plugin, and then you can paste that in right here for scripts in the footer, and then click on Save. And so that's what I did in order to link this up to my website there. So let me go back here. So then once you do that, you're going to go ahead and click on Verify Installation, and it will go there and make sure that it sees the code. And if it does, you are all set. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create a user account that's going to be for your client. Okay, so after you do this, you can go down to Users, click on Add New, and then just for the username, I always like to use a full email address. So put their email address, then put their email address again, put their name and all of that. You definitely want their first name and last name because it's going to send them emails when there's communication going back and forth. So you definitely want to put their name the way it should be. But then right here where it says role, there are these new roles that you can assign to this user. So in the example I'm going to show you, I chose project collaborator. Now each of these different roles have different rights on what they can and cannot do. So you'll want to make sure you have a clear understanding of what the rights are for each of these. Now, what you would also want to do, if you have employees or staff, you will want to get them in the system as well, because when your client is requesting these changes or doing this communication, so say a client saying, I want this color changed, you could then take that and assign it to one of your staff and make sure that they get it done. So that's why there's these different user privileges here that you'll want to be clear on. But what I did in the example I'm showing you is I chose project collaborator. So you can see I've actually already added it. So this is my project collaborator right here, and you can see it's the project collaborator. So then what you want to do is you want to go back into that website. So this was just the test project. And then you want to go right here where it says email notifications. And what this does is it actually adds that client to, or that project, that new project collaborator. It's going to go ahead and add them to this project. So all you have to do is start entering in the information. So I started typing that in. I would go ahead and click on it right there, and it's pretty much done. Now they are added to this project. So I've actually already done that right here. I created this project called Show the Demo, and it's a website project. I've actually been working for a video series on how to create an online course. And so you can see I actually already added them right there. So anyways, now let me show you what ends up happening. So as soon as you add your client, they're going to get an email like this. And this is actually why you want to use the proper names for everything. So it was actually sent to the proper name, but it's using my WordPress username right here. I should have, on my WordPress username, probably put my name and then had it show that name whenever WordPress does anything. So the way you would actually do that, this is a side thing. I probably shouldn't even add it. So right here for username, I shouldn't have username. I should put my name right here and then display publicly, choose my name. I'm sure that would have solved this issue right here. Anyway, it says, I invited you to collaborate on Show the Demo. And then here is a link. And here is that link in that slug. That slug I was telling you to be careful what you name your projects. So I named the project Show the Demo. So that's why this slug is perfect. So you could name that the client's business name, or maybe whatever you refer to as the name of the particular website. So now when they click on this, let me go back to my other web browser. This is what they're going to see. They're going to be on the domain name where you have Project Huddle installed, and they're going to be on that link, and they're taken to this login form. And I think some of the colors here were customization options. I'll have to double check that, but then that'd be pretty cool to even put your branding right here. But anyways, they could put their login right here, and it doesn't log them inside of anything and leave them on this subdomain. It's going to immediately put them right on their website. So as soon as you log in, it will redirect you straight over to their website, and they have these new controls that are just going to float over the website right here. And this is how they're going to collaborate with you. So if you train your client to not send you emails, to not have to pick up the phone every time they want something changed, if you teach them and train them that the most efficient and the best way to get changes done are to just click on that link, log in, and this is all they have to do. I actually created one right here, but let me show you. So say your client does not like what this headline says, the most amazing course. All they have to do is click on this little plus. Then they would go and click anywhere. So I'll click right here to leave a comment. And right here, I'm going to type a comment. There it is. I just put a comment in. I said change to teach and grow rich. So it's put here. There is a record of this now. And all I have to do is click on add comment. And so now the user, your customer, has mocked this up. They've pointed out specifically what they want changed and they added a note to it. And what happens is now I'm emailed because I'm also a collaborator on this project and I'm notified. Now let me show you what happens in the back end. So I'm going back to the back end here. I'm going to go into that project right here, show the demo, and look at this. Here it is. Change to teach and grow rich, which was the same note that I just added. Now, I can either add comments or maybe do this, make this change and let them know, okay, go check it out or something like that. Or I can assign it to staff that will deal with all these changes. Obviously, this is an easy change. You can do it in just a few minutes. But the point is you can see all the changes based on page that they're on. So this is the home page right here, and you can assign these around. Now, what I really like about this is you have this audit log or this tracking log of what your client's asking for and the amount of work and what you're doing in it. So in my mind, the way I see this is, this would probably be a great way of having maybe a billing tracking system with your clients where after you've delivered, obviously you see all the benefits before you deliver a website, just the going back and forth. But even after you deliver a website, that we will do X amount of changes for you, X amount of text changes or image changes. And there's this audit log of everything they're asking you so they can actually see everything they're asking you as well because they're the ones asking for it. I know for me, a lot of the challenges I had when I was developing websites for people were related to them saying all these things they want to email and it's hard to track email, or them saying all these things on a phone call and maybe I'm trying to listen to them and write it down and I'm missing something, and all these little things are dropped balls that don't really make you look so professional. But this is a way of organizing it all in this professional manner. Now let me go back here. So what you could do is your client can see there are 2 comments and they can click right here and this panel is revealed. Now remember, like I said, on this panel here, you can customize these colors. They give you the power of putting your branding in there. So actually, I haven't tested this yet. Let me try responding to one of these and see what happens. We're doing this in real time. I don't know if it's going to need a refresh, but let's see. So here is a comment that says, this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click right here and it reveals this and I can start communicating back with my client. This is how I could assign it to a user and here's some information on what they are actually seeing. So let me type a comment back. Okay, so I just typed a comment back. I'm going to click add comment. So now it's added. This is why you want to make sure your user accounts have a proper name. So this could have looked a little better, but that's okay. So I just added a comment. Now let's go back in the other browser. And I don't know if I need to refresh the page or what. Let's see. I'm sure it's not pulling it back and forth. Let's just do a quick refresh and see what happens. So it pulls it back up. And so here is the little speech bubble and I can click on it and there it is. It's saying right here, and here's my comment back. Are you sure you want to change that? And what's nice is there's this resolved checkbox. So I could have replied, okay, I've made the change. If you like how it looks, click on the resolve checkbox and then they can go ahead and click on that like here. And they've marked it resolved, and now the color changed to green, which is all customizable. And you can see right here, now it's been marked resolve, and it's green there as well. So this is, and actually they can see right here the changes requested per page right there. So now let's go ahead and go back into the back end. Let me do a quick refresh here. And see, okay, it's gone if you notice because it's resolved. And right here it says one resolved thread and there it is. So I gave you actually a very long demo of this because I wanted you to see how simple this solution is, but how professional it would make you look. And it's only 89 bucks. Now, there are actually services that do this that I hear are like $1,000 a year or something like that. I don't know. I haven't looked too much into it, but there are very expensive solutions that do the same thing. However, this is pretty awesome to me. This solution right here, it's only 89 bucks. You can do the same thing you saw me do, but you could do it with mockups, so your standard images. So if your workflow is you start with the image, you could do it that way. Or even if you're just a logo designer or you design flyers or any kind of design work, you can do it through the mockups right here. So let me just put in some final thoughts here on the Project Huddle website. They do have an online demo that you can try, and you can read through the features list and all of that. There are some things that I think would be really cool if it did, because the way I'm thinking this would work if I did start designing websites, I would want to make it very clear and defined what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do with what they pay. So in my mind, I'm only going to want to change text, and I'm only going to want to change images. Well, what I would like it if they did was had a way to maybe have the client upload a photo. So say my client comes to the site and they want this testimonial image changed, that they could go and use this tool and then actually upload that image in that box. So when I go right here and do the little plus and I click right there, I wish they could actually upload the image right there. So if someone is requesting a change there, that they can upload the image. Well, actually, what I think would really be nice is an extension. If my client clicked on that, they can choose what they're asking. If they're asking for a text change, maybe have a checkbox, an image change and have a checkbox. But if it is an image, if they could just upload that image right there, because the way that I see it working is those are the only changes that I want to do for whatever price I'm going to charge. If they want other things done, it's going to cost more money. So anyways, this also gives your client a visual idea of the amount of effort you're putting into this thing. You know, when you're working with clients, they're not sitting there thinking, wow, I just asked them to do 20 things. And they just ask and it's out of sight, out of mind. They just expect it to be done. But when you have a system like this, where they have to manually put in those 20 changes they want, and then they have this visual indicator that, wow, I just asked this person to make 20 changes. That's a lot of changes. So when you are sending a bill or when you're justifying the cost that you charged for a website, you're like, yeah, I've changed 50 things for you. Of course, I'm charging you $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 on this project. So anyways, I think this is a must-have for anyone doing any kind of work on the web. It's definitely a must-have. It's going to make you look awesome and professional, and it's only 89 bucks. I've got links down below to Project Huddle. Go ahead and click through my link to check it out. And I would like to hear from you down below if you think this is something that would work in your workflow, or ways that you think this could be useful to other people that might be watching this video.